Hola! It's time for another review. This time it's everyone's favorite show, BFB. Being honest, I haven't liked a single episode since the split. And it's not just because 75% of the characters were cut, but in general I just found the newer episodes to be boring. The jokes barely land anymore, and half the runtime is spent either referencing BFDI, or just straight up playing clips from BFDI, so they can go all, hey, remember this thing that happened? Instead of making new content. It's a shame, since BFB started so strong and I used to be invested in it, but there are just so many shenanigans that have happened since then that I just don't care too much for it anymore. But alas, the purpose of this video is to talk about the most recent episode, BFB 26. The animation was alright, and while a lot of people either love or hate this style, I think it's just okay. Again, animation quality and the looks of a show aren't really all that important in the long run. And as long as you can understand what is happening on the screen, I think that's fine with me. Although I will say this, the lip syncing in BFB can be a bit distracting at times. Often the words that are coming out of a character's mouth and their lip syncing hardly correlate, at all. But anyway, moving on. The story and dialogue were probably the weakest points of this episode, as per usual with BFB as of late. The whole thing with Profiley was really dumb. He came out of nowhere, he wasn't that enjoyable, and became a non-factor in the episode right when the challenge started. I seriously don't know why this plot, and I use the term pretty loosely, was included at all. And what makes it worse is that Profiley just got eliminated at the end, so what was the point? I'm confused. The challenge was pretty uneventful, and it was kinda obvious that Leafy was going to win immunity by doing absolutely nothing, much to everyone's dismay. The characters weren't all that interesting or funny, except for Teardrop, of course, in this scene, where she's about as done with Leafy's crap as I am.
You had immunity last time! Everyone deserves it sometime! And this time it should be me!
Honestly, if Flower doesn't win, my vote's for Teardrop. Like Fanny, she is just done with everyone, and honestly, I don't blame her. The voice acting of BFB has become more sus as time goes on, and I feel like a good number of the lines from this episode should have just been re-recorded, especially some of 4's. Overall, this episode was not that great for me. It wasn't that fun to watch, and some parts of it just dragged on way too long. I will give some suggestions going forward, but honestly, I think the show is just a lost cause at this point. The split ultimately just kind of upended the whole show, and I feel like I found myself struggling to figure out a way to fix it. All I can say is that the show should seriously consider coming up with better jokes, as that was the whole reason BFDI was good. The characters were funny, and that's what made them enjoyable to watch. Nowadays, it seems like other things are prioritized, like random twists, super complex animations, merchandise, and continuity. So yeah, I think I'll give this episode a 3 out of 10. Thanks for watching, peeps.